So today's workshop is going to be on EdPuzzle and how to use EdPuzzle remotely for remote learning. So in today's presentation, I share a couple of things that you might be familiar with in EdPuzzle and some things that are new because they just got added and they just actually provided it and put onto EdPuzzle. So here's what the EdPuzzle looks like. Students can access EdPuzzle. It's something that is on the NPS website for them to access. And a lot of the times there's YouTube videos on there, right? But because they are embedded into the EdPuzzle, students are able to access them. So the first thing, how would we get started with EdPuzzle? So if you have never done EdPuzzle before, this would be the very first thing that you would need to do in order to get started. So I have embedded the link here. So whenever you go back to the slides, you can actually just click EdPuzzle and it's going to take you to EdPuzzle for you to set up your account if you've never done so. And then you're going to sign in with your Google account, your school Google account. And this is one of the features that I really love. And because the reason why I love it so much is that you will never have to worry about forgetting your password and username. A lot of the times we have so many passwords and usernames that it's like that's one more thing that we have to remember. So I always, whenever I do stuff related to school, I usually do sign in with Google so that I don't have to worry about another username or password. So once you get started, you'll create your account. So make sure that you select teacher. A lot of the times when students go on here, they will click the teacher and not the student. So it's important to remind the students that when they're logging in that they're signing in as a student, because sometimes they accidentally press the teacher tab as opposed to the student tab. And then when you start your EdPuzzle account, it's actually going to take you on a tour of the tool and what to do with the tool. Now, what I hope the district allows us to do is actually to embed the EdPuzzle Google Chrome extension, because by allowing us to have the actual Chrome extension, you can embed any YouTube video that you find that you think would be beneficial and actually upload it and edit it in EdPuzzle. So let's say there's a read aloud that you truly like for your students, like a Pete the Cat book. You can actually, with the Google Chrome extension, upload it onto EdPuzzle. It will automatically show you the button that allows you to edit to EdPuzzle. And then you can actually ask the kids questions about the book. And I'll show you what that, I mean when I go through my slides. But it's so crucial to have that extension. It actually allows the teacher more flexibility on how to access YouTube videos and embedding them with into the classroom and into any lessons that you do. Okay. So I wanted to give you some reasons why EdPuzzle is so beneficial in the classroom, right? EdPuzzle can be used as it is, or it can be used in a way where you can edit the video or the questions that are already there. So when you get onto EdPuzzle, you can actually search. There's a variety of videos that have already been edited by people or in the actual EdPuzzle, and you can actually just assign it to your student. So if you're pressed for time, but you need like a quick little video for students, you search for something that is on there that you would like to use. And basically, it would save you a little bit of time without having to start something from scratch. So this is one of the reasons why EdPuzzle is great, because they have really a large bank of videos that have questions and the video that you can use, right? And then maybe you can just add an introduction if you feel the need, depending on the level of your students, right? Another reason why it adds, like you can add short answers or multiple choice questions along the way. So here, I gave you a little bit of a screenshot of what it will look like from a video. And throughout the video where you see these little question marks, this is where the video actually stops, right? And allows the students to answer a specific question. You can make your questions multiple choice. You can make them a short answer. It's truly up to you. And the nice thing about it is that if you say, I don't want the students to skip, don't allow students to skip the questions or skip throughout the video, you can do that. I always do that because then they can't move on to the next part of the video without watching and answering the first question. You also have the option of adding more questions or deleting some of the questions that you don't like. So when you click on a video that is already set up for you, you can click on the question and they'll give you the option to either edit or delete, depending on what you feel, because maybe it's a long video or maybe it has too many questions for your students. You can actually take some out. You can add audio to any video that you find, right? Sometimes you want to give students an introduction, or you want to add some comments to your video to tell your students what they're going to be learning about. So here at the top, it would actually give you options that you will pick to add an audio, and you can add audio throughout your video. So comments can be given to the students about what to do, or let's say you get to the middle of your video and they're about to discuss the main idea of the video or of the book or whatever the video is. You can say, please pay close attention to this part of the video. You are now going to listen to the main idea. So to remind students to be paying attention and be thoughtful of what's going to happen next. Another reason is you can actually also write comments. So for your older students, you can add written comments on there if you want to. It's also a great way to see things in a written format if your student is more a visual learner and likes to see things written out for them, or you can even ask a question about what your students think about the video. So that's another option instead of the voice. Okay, you can actually crop a video you choose to assign. So there'll be options at the top, and you would press the crop video. So let's say you have a video that's 10 minutes long, but you only want to show students the first 5 minutes of that video. When you click crop video, you will actually then be given these little cursors here, and then all you would have to do is move the cursors to where it is that you want the video to stop. It's just like SCREENCASTIFY. When you're done recording your video, you have the option to crop your video as well, so that you can take out any pieces that you don't want for the students. So by cropping the video, you can actually just provide students with a section of material that you feel is most relevant to them, depending on the age of your students, right? The other one that I like about it is that you can actually link Google Classroom to EdPuzzle. So this is when I used EdPuzzle during March through June. I just linked it to my Google Classroom, and it actually brings over all the students that I have in my Google Classroom, and I wouldn't have to individually send them invitations or add them to a class. So I can share. The nice thing about linking it to my Google Classroom is that I can share it automatically from EdPuzzle to my Google Classroom, where I can copy the link if I wanted to, but it will give you the option to automatically assign to a class. Okay? Bless you. And then, so basically, once students sign into their EdPuzzle, they'll watch the video, and you can add, the nice thing about it is that if you're giving them a multiple choice, it will actually grade it for you and give you a grade. So that's the best part about it. So you're getting an automatic grade without you having to go back and checking the work. So this is where you can see how students are doing. So EdPuzzle will also allow the students to see how far they've seen the video, where they've stopped. It tells you everything, what questions they got wrong, did they finish the assignment? Because if a student gets a bad grade or doesn't do well, you can go see why. Why didn't they do well? Did they finish watching everything? So it's really nice because it individually allows you to see their progress and how they're doing, where they're getting things wrong. So why is it your friend, or why it can become your friend, right? So there's different ways that students can access EdPuzzle, either through the NPS website, or they can, if they have a smartphone, they can actually download the app for free, right? You know, sometimes students might have difficulty, you know, getting onto it from a Chromebook, but or they don't have internet, or whatever the reason may be. The fact that they're able to download the app is nice, right? It's another option. It's an assessment like the workshop you taught us. So it could be used as an assessment, Ms. Gianni. It's totally up to you. You can assign the video and not ask them any questions. You can just take the questions out, or you can ask them questions. It's totally up to you. But if you choose to assign it where you want to ask them even a question or two or three, depending on what you think your students can do, you can use it as an assessment. Yes, EdPuzzles is videos. It's a video app. So the nice thing about EdPuzzle, you're welcome, is that students cannot skip ahead to questions. They can leave the page, but if they decide to leave it, the video will automatically pause it for them. They're not going to have to go back to the beginning, but then they can't go on until they start wherever they left off. It has math symbols and functions that you can input for questions and answer choices, especially for our math teachers. If you're showing students a math video, the fact that they have embedded math symbols and functions into asking questions is great. You can automatically provide feedback for your students. And then there's closed captioning. So I know that a lot of you know what closed captioning is. So this is more for students that have a harder time, our ELLs, that they know how to read better maybe, but they don't understand the language. So sometimes also seeing the words to the video as they're listening to it maybe might give them a better understanding of what they're watching. So the only thing that is the downfall is that closed captioning is not available for all videos. So if it is available, it will give you that option. But if it doesn't, then unfortunately it's not available for that video. The other thing that's nice is that there are certain videos that actually allow you to change the closed captioning to a different language. So they can actually listen to it in English, and they will be able to read it in their native language. And they can pause the video, they can replay the video as many times as they want before answering a question. So let's say a student starts watching a video, they get to a question, and they still don't know the answer. They have the option of actually replaying the part up until the question so that they can get a better understanding. And when you look at the report, it will actually tell you how many times the student watched that specific section of the video. So if they watched it 2 times, it'll let you know that the student watched it 2 times. And I'll actually show you what it looks like when I did it with my students. And I'll show you towards the end so that you can, sometimes it's easier to get an understanding of what something is when you actually see it. So I'll show you that at the end. So how you're going to set up your classes. So this is actually an image from my EdPuzzle account. And these were the different classes that I had set up. They automatically came from my Google Classroom. I linked them because it was the easiest way and quickest to ensure that all of the students were connected to the EdPuzzle account. And it's totally up to you. You can set up as many classes as you want. I had 4 because I had 4 different Google Classrooms. But if you need more, it's totally up to you. Like, especially if you are a teacher that teaches all subjects, right? You teach math, reading, social studies, science. You might want to set up your classes by subject so that when you are posting a video, you can post all your math videos under your math section or subject. So it's totally up to you how you would like to set up your EdPuzzle. The nice thing about setting it up by a subject, if you teach various subjects, is that it's easier to find an assignment. If you are looking for a specific assignment that you gave a student and you wanted to see how they did, setting it up that way makes it a lot quicker to look for something. So it's just an option that you can, think of. Here is how you would add your classes, create video content, and assign your videos. Okay. So when you can, I'm going to go over this, but you can always come back to the slides if you need to have a refresher. So your very first step would be to add your classes. So you can't really assign anything until you have first set up your classes. Once you set up your classes in the add class, if you see this little button here underneath, you can either add it or you can import from Google Classroom. So okay, it will be right underneath it. So if you want to set up your classes, you can do that. But I like the fact that once I have my Google Classrooms set up and the students are in my Google Classroom, I can just click this button, import from Google Classroom, and it will automatically link all the students. And then the nice thing about it is that every student that is linked to my EdPuzzle account, when I share the assignment to Google Classroom, they will all get it, right? So that's the nice thing about it. It, like, with a quick click of a button, everybody will get it, as opposed to you sitting there and adding and creating your classes. I just want to give you options. Well, students that enroll, yes, they can always. So let's say a student comes in the middle of the year. First, add them to your Google Classroom, and then you can always just click the import again, and it'll refresh your data with the new students on there at any time. You're welcome. So that after you have set up your classes, that's the basic step. You can then, you will be given a link, okay, similar to the one here, that you can share with your students as well if they want to join. This would be if you are setting up your classes and not linking them to your Google Classroom. If you link them to your Google Classroom, you don't have to do this step. Okay. This would be if you are not linking it to your Google Classroom. You would need to give students this actual code so that they can join your EdPuzzle account. Does everyone understand the difference? Are we okay with that? Okay. So I just wanted you to understand, if you link it to Google Classroom, you won't need to give them this code. They will automatically be synced together. All right, so once you've created your classes or imported them or linked them to your Google Classroom, the next thing you want to do is you're going to search for a video or an assignment that you would like to assign for your students. So at the top, you will see a button that says, or a word that says search, and you would click that link so that you can search for videos that you would like to share with your students. Once you find the video, right? So once you click on the search link, there's going to be a list of options on your left-hand side here that will come up. So you can choose whichever channel you would like to use in order to search for specific skills you are looking for. So let's say you are looking for short vowel sounds or any videos. Like when I did a lesson on government, I actually searched for a video on the branches of government, and it gave me various options of videos that I can share with my students. And then I picked the one that I felt was more beneficial for the age group. And then that was the one that I picked. So it usually gives you a list of options. The next thing that you need to do, you can enter the skill you're wanting students to learn into the search bar as well here, where it says search results. I searched text structure, and below you will find some of the videos that came up in the search. So here, these are the videos that came up first. And then if you even narrow your search even more, it will narrow your videos as well. So depending on what it is that you really want to focus on, right? As you can see, some of these videos, like I wouldn't show this little video here. It's more cartoonish to a 7th grader. They'd probably think it's silly. So you have to really gear the videos towards your students and your audience, right? Who are you showing this to? The step 6 would be to click on the video you would like, right? So I found this video that was on text structure, and then you choose the use it. You want to use this video to share with your students. Now, you can leave the video as is and share it, right? But I would actually listen to it and see what questions they have. If you are okay with the video that is there and you like how it's set up, remember some of the videos are already set up for you with questioning, and you can leave it as is, or you can modify the video. So you can clip the video, you can add audio, you can add notes, you can add more questions or take out questions. It's totally up to you. You really have great flexibility with how you really want to edit your video, or you can just leave it alone, because sometimes you can find great videos where you really have nothing to do and you can just share it with the students. And then once you're done editing your video, you're going to click save and finish. It's only after you're done, right? If you're really wanting to edit something, that's what you would have to do with step 7. The last step would be to assign it to your class. So the nice thing about having it linked to Google Classroom is that it will actually post it onto your Google Classroom. And when you click post to Google Classroom, you can actually sort it, assign it, schedule it, however it is that you want. Let's say you want to schedule it, it will also give you that option to schedule the video. You don't have to post it right away. But if you are trying to get ahead of schedule and you know this is something that you want to present to students, but it's Monday, but you're going to hit it on Thursday, you can schedule it ahead of time, right? It doesn't have to be posted right away. How do we add questions to EdPuzzle? So this is something important, especially if the video does not have any questions for you to add it onto the video and you want to add, right? There's 3 possible choices that you have to add to your video. So you can do a multiple choice, an open-ended, or you can add a voice note. Those are 3 options that EdPuzzle gives you to ask questions to your students. So the multiple choice questions, the nice thing, are automatically graded for you. And the nice thing is that the student, if you only do multiple choice, the student will actually get their grade at the end if it's an multiple choice. So that they don't even have to ask you, what did I get on the video? What did I get in the assignment? So if it's multiple choice, it's great. It's automatically graded for you. You can then just go to the report and it will show you what grade they got. It posts their grade onto Google Classroom as well for the assignment. And you really have to do nothing. Just grab the grade, put it into your PowerSchool, and it's done, right? It's great. One of the best features about it, not having to grade something. And then the nice thing about it is that it allows you to give your students opportunity to practice their critical thinking skills on open-ended questions if you ask them, right? So sometimes it's also nice, especially if we are working with older students, to ask them an open-ended question at the end to really get them to think about what they watched. To add these features, all you have to really do is stop the video where you want, right? And then you click on the kind of questions you want. For multiple choice, make sure that you enter the right answer choice with the green check mark and the rest with the red. It will give you that option when you are actually stopping the video to insert the questions. So here is, I actually, grabbed an image from what it would look like. So I looked for a video, right? This video only had an open-ended question, right? But I wanted to add, let's say I wanted to add a multiple choice question. I would just pause or stop the video where it is that I wanted to stop. At the top, I would pick what I wanted. Do I want to do a voiceover? Do I want to add questions? And then I would click the question, and then it gives me the option. Which one is it that I want to do? And then once I pick it, I make sure I select the correct answer and I click finish. So sometimes when you're searching for videos, it will only ask them one question. And like their open-ended question was, what is the definition of weather? So if that's, the only thing that you want to ask your students and you're okay with it, then that's fine. You can also delete this question and just have them watch the video. You don't have to, you would just delete it, right? You would just click on the question and then delete it. I have a question from a teacher. Can this be used like RAS Kids where a student reads and then answers questions? Yes. You can ask them any questions that you want, but instead of reading, they're actually listening. So that's the difference between EdPuzzle and RAS Kids. In RAS Kids, they're reading. And here you would be assessing their listening skills, right? Because they have to listen unless you add on the closed captioning. In this actual video, it didn't allow me to add closed captioning, but if the video allows you to, the students do have the option to read. But mostly, for the most part, this is more of a listening skills assessment where they have to listen to a video and answer questions, if that's how you choose to use it. So how I would add a voiceover. So I go into the different various things that you can add to your video. So this is a cool feature for you to add to your video, especially if you want to add a voiceover at the beginning of the video to let students know what they're going to be watching. So maybe you want to give them a commentary along the way. For example, this next part is going to tell you the main idea. So I really want you to listen for it. So if that's what you want to do, right, there, you stop the video where it is prior to where the main idea is going to happen. You would stop the video or pause it, click voiceover, and then when you click voiceover, it's going to give you the option of do you want to start a recording? And if that's where you want to start the recording, you would click this, you would record what it is that you want to say, and then you would click and say stop after you're done with your recording, and then make sure you click finish so that it saves whatever it is that you recorded. I have one more question. The questions can come in the middle of the video instead of all at the end. Absolutely. So the nice thing about EdPuzzle is that you can have several questions throughout the whole video. You can add as many questions as you want. So one of the assignments that I'll show you at the end, the video that I assigned to my students actually asked them questions throughout the whole video. So it was broken up into various sections. And the nice thing about it is that they got to listen to smaller chunks of a video before they had to answer a question. Especially for the ELLs, sometimes having them watch too much, especially because the language is not familiar to them, can be overwhelming. So breaking up a video into smaller pieces is actually beneficial to those students because they don't have to worry about making sure they're listening to so much information. So that sometimes can be overwhelming. Is this similar to SCREENCASTIFY but with questions? No, this is a different, it's not related to SCREENCASTIFY, but you can use SCREENCASTIFY with EdPuzzle, and I'm going to show you how. Okay, so SCREENCASTIFY is just making a video. This is a video. Yes, this is also great for the special needs students. I mean, it's great for any student, to be honest, but you know, it's really like to give them an extra added bonus of a skill or an objective that you were going over and you want them to have a different perspective and or watch a video. It actually lets you, you know, meet the needs of various students as opposed to just, you know, teaching and hearing you say something and watching something. So it's just a different approach, giving you options of how you can get material across to your students. So the nice thing about it, just like with Google Forms, is data, right? It's so important that it gives you this information, and you'll know right away just when you look at a student where they got it wrong, right? This was actually from one of my students. It told me how long he spent on watching the video, what his grade was, how much of the video he watched, and how many questions he got right. And then it'll actually tell me, so if you see the video that I sent to the students had all these questions in it throughout the video. And it actually tells you above how many times the student watched that particular section of the video. So in this part of the video, he actually watched it twice at the beginning, and then here he just watched it once. So that's the nice thing about it. Like, you can see what it was that the student did throughout the whole video. I mean, it gives you actually more information, but I wanted to give you, you know, the bulk of what it is that you can get from it. Yes, it's great for student accountability. And it actually, the students get to see where it is that they got it wrong. It'll let them know. So that's the nice thing about it. They'll know right away where it is that they got something wrong. So this is the nice thing, and it's like the best thing ever, how you can now, they've actually merged these two things together. SCREENCASTIFY and EdPuzzle have now been integrated. It's wonderful, right? So the nice thing about this is, let's say that you yourself have your whiteboard at home or chart paper. You have put together this fabulous lesson, okay? You recorded yourself on SCREENCASTIFY, and now the fact that it has been integrated with EdPuzzle, by having the EdPuzzle extension, you can quickly embed a formative assessment question into your video. It's phenomenal. Like, this is why I think it's so crucial to have those extensions, right? Because I've now taught a lesson, and now I want the students to answer a few questions about what I just taught them. Maybe it's just 2 or 3, But the fact that I can now integrate it with EdPuzzle, I can even pause it throughout the video and ask them questions of the video that I recorded myself in, right? So I have a question. Ms. Arguello, you had a question? Oh, okay, because it said that you raised your hand, so I thought you had a question. Okay, no, I just didn't want to miss any questions. It's okay. So
Excuse me, I'm not following. What's the difference between just having all the questions in EdPuzzle? Why do you need the SCREENCASTIFY?
okay, so like I said, you are creating an instructional video. You have created an instructional video at home where you have taught a lesson to your students using a chart, your chart paper. You're using SCREENCASTIFY to record yourself teaching a lesson. You're not getting a video off of EdPuzzle, but you want to assess your students on the video that you have just created for them to watch to make sure that they got what you just taught them. You can easily now embed EdPuzzle to your SCREENCASTIFY video that you created of your instruction, right? You're teaching them a lesson through a video, right? Because you might not be able to get onto a WebEx, or not all of your students are coming onto WebEx like they're supposed to, but you're going to create an instructional video to your students using SCREENCASTIFY. You're going to record yourself doing the lesson. You've now completed your lesson. I can now click edit in EdPuzzle. The video is going to transfer into EdPuzzle. And what I can do is I can add questions to that video now and assess them. I can add multiple choice questions to that video. I can add a short, an open-ended question to the video. That's the difference. So if I'm just going directly to EdPuzzle, I'm searching for videos that are in EdPuzzle. But if I decide that I want to teach my students a particular lesson, okay, let's say I'm teaching students how to conjugate the verb, or how to, do long vowel sounds. I taught them a lesson, and now I want them to answer an open-ended question on what I just taught them. And this is how you can get a formative assessment from the lesson that you just taught without you even being in the classroom. Do you understand the difference?
Yes, thank you.
No problem. I mean, this is what we're here. So like the fact that they're integrated is that it now allows you as the teacher to create your own videos using SCREENCASTIFY, where you can teach an actual lesson and now embed it with questions. You can stop the video throughout to ask students questions. It can be a yes/no question, right? It depends on what it is that you want the students to do. Right, the SCREENCASTIFY unfortunately is for only 5 minutes. During distance learning, they did allow videos to go longer. I'm hoping that maybe this is something that we can reach out to the district, or I'm going to suggest that if they can actually buy into the program so it allows us to have a longer time of video.
I have a question, Silvia. As far as SCREENCASTIFY, I already had that as an extension.
Right.
And I already added EdPuzzle as an extension.
Mm-hmm.
So once those two extensions are in, it's automatically integrated?
Yes. And
Okay.
once you record your SCREENCASTIFY video, and I'll show you what I mean.
Yeah.
So I'm getting to there. So
Okay.
basically, no problem. So basically, it also allows you to skip the step of having to post it onto YouTube, especially because the district doesn't really allow students to play YouTube videos. This would actually help us to bypass that YouTube thing. And basically,
So I have another question. The other question is, if I wanted to play around with this, what I mean by that is I have my extensions in, and I have created I started to create a Google Classroom for this coming year, but in a way, I don't want to put too much in it because everything is in flux at this point. But yet there's a part of me that wants to create a sample or two in there just to have. And the only thing that could work is when the students, when you already have the assigned list of students. So then that way, as far as when you say import, because you went back to make a point of saying to import some of the videos or the lessons. Do I need my students already in there before school begins in order, to try to play around with this?
So you don't need students for a SCREENCASTIFY to transfer over to EdPuzzle, and I'll show you why. Right. So somebody is saying, I'm just trying to read some of the comments from teachers. So you can actually, if there is a YouTube video that you want, you really don't even have to actually do a SCREENCASTIFY of the YouTube if you have the EdPuzzle extension. And I'll show you why, what I mean, because I already have the EdPuzzle Chrome extension. It actually gives me the option to embed it into EdPuzzle. And I'm going to show you that.
All right, because what I'm trying to do is, as we learn these different, which is, I can't say I'm so thankful to be in these classes, and you are an excellent teacher, and I really have no idea how much I appreciate that. But as a student, I want to make sure that I'm applying some of these things, because my thing is, even if we can make some samples in our basic classroom that didn't start yet, but at least we have something there. That's where I'm coming from.
Oh,
I don't want to forget what we have been taught.
Right. So you can create and edit videos in EdPuzzle without having your students, right?
Okay.
You can create a SCREENCASTIFY and edit it in EdPuzzle without having your students. I'm going to show you because I actually created, I have a visual for you to see.
Thank you.
My next slide. Okay. So these are the steps that you would need to follow in order to integrate your EdPuzzle in your SCREENCASTIFY account. Okay. This is what, so I actually did this myself so I can actually show you a picture of what it's going to look like, right? So when you open up your SCREENCASTIFY recording, right, you have recorded your video, as you see here. I just did a sample. I didn't really name it, but I just wanted you to see what it looks like. So I've come to the end of my video. I've edited everything that I wanted is perfect. I'm done, right? So now in order for me to embed it into my EdPuzzle account, this is what I'm going to do. The first thing I need to do is click more options. Okay. The next thing you need to do is add more share options, because EdPuzzle is not on there yet. You need to put it there. So you need to say add more options. After I click that, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to toggle this over to EdPuzzle. There's going to be a couple of options there of share buttons. I'm going to toggle it over. Once I toggle it over, this is what's going to happen. This is going to show up now here. It's going to say upload to EdPuzzle. So right now, Yolanda, you can create an instructional video, record yourself, right? You would use the webcam if you're just recording yourself teaching a lesson from the whiteboard that you have. Say you have a whiteboard at home and you want to record yourself. You're going to use the webcam. You're going to record yourself, right? You're going to stop the recording, edit the video, and now you wanted to ask your students questions throughout the video your lesson. You're going to click here, upload to EdPuzzle, right? And you're going to do this next. It's gonna upload your video now onto EdPuzzle. When you get to this page, it's important that you log in, like you should have already be logged in. You are going to grant access to Google, right? To log in to Google Drive, right? Because remember, all your SCREENCASTIFY videos end up in your Google Drive. So you have to allow it to give EdPuzzle access to your Google Drive. And once you do that, your video is automatically uploaded onto EdPuzzle.
Now, once I do that, let me ask you this.
Mhm.
So this would be the procedure all the time when I want to add on a new video. I would have to go through this procedure to integrate.
If you are doing a Screencastify and you want to add an assessment piece to your lesson or to your video, yes.
Okay.
So
Okay.
if you're just doing a Screencastify of a lesson or of instructions, and you don't want to assess the students or you don't want to ask the students any questions, then you don't have to do this, right? But if
Right.
you are saying, well, I want to know because I'm not physically there to know whether the students got it or not. You have or teaching a mini lesson maybe, right? For example, and you want to know, did the students really understand the instruction? Did they really understand the lesson? Let me ask them a few questions to really get better understanding for me as a teacher, whether I delivered the message clearly and the students understood. So it gives you, it provides you with data as to whether you need to create another video or whether the students got it, and now I can move on. So that's the nice thing about it, right? Like we're not there, we're not sitting in front of the students all the time, and we don't catch a large audience on WebEx. So this is another way of us really knowing whether our students got the lesson or got the material that you were really wanting them to understand.
Now let me ask you this. I'm going to take this idea a step further. What do I mean by that? What I mean is we could use EdPuzzle as a form of an assessment at that point, right?
Absolutely.
If we're using screen, or we could go back again to what we were taught in the other classes, such as I think it's Google. Was it Google?
Google Forms.
Google Forms would be another form of an assessment.
Mhm.
So I think that's the thing. I think in teaching, which in my mind, I have to compartmentalize that as we're teaching digitally, right? Is thinking about, okay, in this lesson, I'm going to use EdPuzzle, Google Form, and having that consciousness of a diagram in my mind saying various ways, because we're learning so much. And it's, you understand what I'm saying? So in a sense, it's like looking at a form and saying, okay, if I'm doing this, I can use EdPuzzle for an assessment. I can use this. Then if I'm doing it, it helps me to think more digitally as I'm teaching. So, you know, so you're used, it's not, I know you're used to it. It helps me to look at the various applications, because sometimes as you're inundated, and we are with all these various applications, which are good, you step back and say to yourself, wait a minute, which one at this point would be beneficial due to the amount of things that you've learned? That's where I'm.
Right. So see, you have to really know your students, right? At the end of the day, like obviously, depending on who you have, if you're looping, you might already know the students. So it's, you know what they can do, right? But if they're brand new to you, then it's, you kind of have to get to know who they are first, and then you can kind of gauge where it is that the students feel more comfortable. And then it's like, you don't have to always do the same form of assessment. You have various options of how you can really track data from your students. So this is just, it's nice to have like different means of or ways of assessing the students without always being so repetitive with how we do things. So it's nice to just like sometimes, you know, keep them on their toes so that they're not always expecting the same thing.
No, I agree. And that's the reason why, as we're learning this, I'm seeing the various, and I just feel, for me personally, I just need to, you know, look at the different forms and then be able to say, which one will I use as far as the best means. So thank you.
No problem. Okay, so that's as far as, that's all I really have to tell you about EdPuzzle and Screencastify. So I wanted to show you though, right, what it looks like. So I showed you what it looked like on Screencastify, but someone was saying that with YouTube, you can do a screencastify of the YouTube and then share it with your students. Now, I want to show you, if you have the the EdPuzzle Chrome extension, okay? Let's say I have this story that I want to share with my students, right? I click on the YouTube video that I want. Now look at the cool thing that is here. It says edit with EdPuzzle. I would just click this button here, okay? And it automatically takes me to EdPuzzle without having to do a screencastify.
Excuse me. So there are some YouTube videos on YouTube that already have EdPuzzle attachment?
No, they don't have EdPuzzle unless you download the Google Chrome extension. The minute you have downloaded the Google Chrome extension, then you will have that option.
Okay.
Okay. So this is why when I reached out yesterday, I did say, I was like, it's nice to have certain features because it allows the teacher to do a lot more things. So here, like if I wanted to do a voiceover, right? I can click here and I want to tell the students, I can't record because I'm actually in a recording and I'm using my microphone, so it won't allow me to do it. But if I wanted to add an introduction to the story that they're about to read, then I would click voiceover, right? And then I would start recording the video. So if I want to add a question, I would have to play the video, right? To be able to stop the video and ask them a question. It's taking a while. But if I wanted to add questions, I would just click the question button here, and then I would pick which one I wanted, right? And then I would type your multiple choice question here, and then type the choice. Do you see how it has the check mark? You would pick, is that the right answer or is that the wrong answer? If you want multiple choice. And then whenever you're done, you can just click finish. You can add another answer choice. It's totally up to you, right? Does everyone see that?
Yes.
So
Okay.
you're saying that the district has not approved this or not? We don't really have access to it yet?
So some people were able to put it on, right, on their work laptops. You can put it on your personal laptop. You don't have to, you know, leave it on your work. If in the meantime, until we get this approved, you can do it on your work laptop. You would just sign into, if you want to make sure that it's in your work account, make sure that you are logged into your work account. So when you would click on your picture, right, you would add your NPS account to your Google account, the email, and then that's how you could attach it to your work without you having to use your work laptop. So if I look here at my content, these are all the videos that I have on here. If I click here, my classes, these are all the classes that I had. If I wanted to add one, I would, right? I could add here. I can show the completed assignments that they did. So we did branches of the government. I have a start and end date of when I wanted them to start the video, what time they had to hand this in, okay? I actually put prevent skipping, and then I could just easily update it into the Google Classroom. And then here, towards the bottom of the screen, you can, let's say a student really did really poorly, you can actually reset, you know, if you want to give a student an opportunity to do the assignment, you can delete the assignment, you can download the grades. If I want to go into specific questions, right, it'll tell me how many students, 11 out of 27 got it right. It'll tell me exactly each question that was given to them and how many students out of how many got the question correct. Okay, if I want to go into individual students, I would click this student didn't do the assignment. I had a lot of those. Let me show you a student that completed it. So this specific student, for example, this is his report, and it tells me, you know, what he did for each of the questions, like that. Okay. So it'll tell me which question he got right, which he got wrong. And I can, in here, it gives me like a quick glance. The ones in red are the ones that he got wrong. So it really gives you, you know, a breakdown of what it is that you want to see for each student. If I want to go back here, I could do EdPuzzle, I can search, right? I can filter by subject. Let's say you want to do math videos, and then you are, let's say, counting to 10, right? I search, and then I look for a video that I would be appropriate, right? And I can pick the video. This is only 2 minutes. Now, this particular video, okay, doesn't have any questions on here at all. But if I wanted to, I could. It's totally up to you, right? How you want to do it.
How did you know it didn't have any questions?
It would have showed up here in the questioning. It does allow you to do closed captioning, right? And look at all the languages that it can have closed captioning in. So if a video allows for closed captioning, it would tell you closed cap, it gives you that option here. Okay. So when I did branches of government for the students, it was a lesson that we did with them. Okay. And then I can go through it. So look at the difference. Now I know, because the questions are already embedded into the video. You'll see the little drops, right, on here. So let's say I get to this question, right? I don't want it. I can just skip it, right? I can edit the questions, right? When I click edit, and I can go here and I can edit questions. So,
Can you repeat that? I didn't see the edit.
okay, I'll go back. So let's say you're here in this video, right? Trying to move this so that you can see. Can you see it?
Yes.
All right, it comes up with the to do.
Oh, I see it now.
And then you have edit. And then you can edit.
What if you have special needs students and they cannot read the question?
They can't read the question. You can do a voice over
Ya me están viendo.
prior to
Y tú me dejas que me vean así toda fea.
Oh boy. Okay. So you can add a voice over to the actual video. You can edit. Okay, or these are the questions. It's not going to allow me to edit because I'm using the microphone right now, so it won't let me do it. But I would just play around with the videos, right? And see what it is that you want to add or change, okay? So then you also have, if you want to delete the video, you can delete. Okay? It's up to you how I would play around with it to see how you can add questions, take away questions. Some of the videos that are ready set up for you. Sometimes they don't allow you to really do much to it. So I like this video and the number of questions that it had for the students. So I left it as it is, as it was. I didn't change anything to it. But sometimes you're going to find videos that you want to ask questions or you want to add questions, and then you would just do that.
What are the other video versions at the bottom? So a lot of your videos at the bottom, you see like 30 other versions, or I don't know, there was something there.
So this person created a version of this video. I think that's what it is. So this teacher also, so I think it's the teacher used this video. So it shows you anybody in the district that has used the video. That's what it is.
So once again, desktop, I can embed the video into EdPuzzle, make the changes, and then upload it onto Google Classroom or whatever. And what student has the Chromebook can have access to the EdPuzzle.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So let's say I'm here in the NPS. They should, if they go to the student portal, EdPuzzle's right here. They would just click EdPuzzle and it'd automatically take them there. So EdPuzzle is actually something that the district allows us to use. The only added feature would be being able to have that Chrome extension, which allows you to create your own videos of your lessons, or of an actual YouTube video that you found yourself that wasn't in the EdPuzzle bank of videos, and you wanted to add it. So let's say they didn't have Pete the Cat, that story in EdPuzzle, and you wanted to share that story with your students. The fact that you have the Chrome extension allows you to now be able to do that and share it without worrying about the students not being able to watch YouTube.
And so the district has not allowed us yet for that. So therefore I have to do it on my personal.
So I would try it, right? I was able to add these Chrome extensions to my work computer. I was able to do it. So I would try to do it on your work computer. And then
I was able to do it, I'm sorry to cut in, but I was able to do it just a few minutes, well, I'd say about 20 minutes ago when you started this whole thing, just to see if I was able to do it. And I did it on my work computer.
I know when I parked Sam's car right on this side of the street, I swear they hooked it up before 12 o'clock, whatever the time was.
Somebody needs to go on mute.
okay. So try it, right? Some laptops they're being allowed to use it. In order for you to get any Chrome extension, you would need to just go onto Google. All right, let me try to do that. I have linked it onto my slides, so you don't have to go through here, but any Chrome extensions would be found here. I have actually linked the EdPuzzle Chrome extension onto the slides for today. I already have it on mine, so it's gonna say remove from Chrome. But if you don't have it, you would say add to Chrome, and then you would be allowed to do it. So I would try to add it. And then if it doesn't work, in the meantime, I would put it onto my regular personal computer, and we're just gonna have to wait and see what the district lets us know as far as adding these Chrome extensions.
Can we use this for videos that aren't YouTube? Like the district has appointed, I guess, virtual nerd for the high school level math. So can I add the virtual nerd videos onto this too?
So it depends. If I haven't tried it, so like what kind of video are you talking about? Like, is it from one of the videos that from the curriculum? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, so the curriculum essentially points us to a website, Virtual Nerd, and there's like a ton of math videos on there, like really nice videos. And I wanted a way for my students to look at them, to ask questions. Right now, I don't know if they watched them. I can say go to this link, but I have no idea if they actually looked at them. So this will be a great integration, trying to figure out, get those videos onto this.
So I know with YouTube, EdPuzzle is embedded, like I showed you. Now, worst case scenario, if it doesn't, I would try it if you download the extension to see if it comes up on the video so that you can edit. If it doesn't allow you, I would do a screencastify of it, and then you can then edit with EdPuzzle. So that's another way around it if it doesn't come up automatically. Like I have not tried it. I know that with YouTube you can edit, but I have not tried going on a video from the curriculum. I really, because I don't use the ELA or math curriculum, I use the ESL. I haven't really tried, but it's something that you can possibly try, and you can probably let us know how it worked for you. But the way around it would be like a screencastify of the video and then embed it into EdPuzzle. So that's another way around it. But like you said, we don't know. That's the thing. Like sometimes I created a screencastify video, and I was like, did the students even watch the lesson that I gave to them? And I know a lot of the times they skipped right over the lesson and went straight to the activity. So the fact that they now have integrated EdPuzzle with Screencastify allows me to hold the students more accountable for the lessons that I'm putting together. Because a lot of the times I didn't know if they watched it or not. Because sometimes they said, oh yes, I watched it, and then I knew because the activity results were like poor, and I was like, it's impossible that you watched me teaching the lesson and you got that score. So I love the fact that they have now integrated it in a way that we can really hold students accountable as far as when we share lessons with them, in Google Classroom. So it's nice. Can you insert a slide with step-by-steps on how to insert questions? So I have Miss Gianni. So if you go here into the slides, I really break it down as to how you would insert a question into an EdPuzzle video. Okay, so right here on this slide, it tells you all about how to add your questions. So if I'm in EdPuzzle, and I'm going to go back to my home. See, these already have questions because it has like those little, it tells you it has 11 questions. See, this video does not. So if I click on this video, and I want to add questions, okay, I would click on edit the video, right? I want to edit. And if I want to add questions, Miss Johnny, when I click edit on a video that is not, does not have any questions or voiceover, I would click edit, and then I would click here on questions. And then I would pick what type of question or note I would want to add for different parts of the video. If I want to add an open-ended question at the beginning of my video, then I would just do here. If I want to, if I'm here on this part first, right, of the video, I'll press pause. I want to ask a question. I'm going to pause the video and ask my question. Or if I want to add a voiceover on this part of the video, let's say I want to say to the students, please make sure that you're listening carefully to this part of the video. It's going to tell you important steps on how to stay healthy, something like that. You can let them know ahead of time what they're going to listen to. So it's important for you to watch the video so that you know at what point of the video you would like to really stop the video or pause to ask questions or to let students know about a particular thing. So once you're done, it's also things are saved automatically, but you always have to click finish whenever you're finished with editing a certain part of your video. You can also cut the video if you wanted to. So you see how it says cut? I would just move it, just like I do with Screencastify. If I wanted to make, so this video is 6 minutes long, maybe I just want to show the students 4 minutes because 6 minutes is too long. You would click the cut button here and then move the cursors to where it is that you want the video to be cut. And then you would just say add cut. And that's about it as far as EdPuzzle. It's really a matter of you looking for videos to see that fit your needs. But the biggest feature that I love the most is the integration with Screencastify, because it really opens up a world that we didn't really have before, as far as holding our students accountable for things that we are teaching them, to really ensure that they're understanding the message that we're trying to deliver. So that's the really nice feature about this. So sometimes, there's videos on here that are already done for you that have the questions. You'll see that as I showed you, you can see which videos have questions, which videos don't. So this video has questions. This one has 6 questions. This one doesn't have any. This one only has 1. So it'll let you know which videos have questions and which don't. And then you go from there. So that's about it. Does anyone have any questions about EdPuzzle?
At the end of the year, are your classes archived? Are the classes archived?
I did it. They're not archived. They're still here. So
So we'd have to go in, and how would we go about moving those classes so they're no longer?
options, I would just click delete.
Oh,
So I would click go here where you click on my classes.
yes.
Click on class options. I can either change the name or delete it. I didn't want to delete any of my classes because I wanted to show you what it looked like when I did this. So, but if you want to delete it, then because you want to start it's a new year, you no longer see these students, then you would just go here and click delete.
So going back to asking questions,
Sure.
everything that you showed us step by step just now is on one of these slides, including the finish.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I didn't insert the word finish on there because the slides, whenever you edit, it will automatically save it for you. All you have to do is click finish.
Yeah, but for somebody like me who's very new trying this, reminding me to use finish is important.
Okay, so I can add it to the slide. I'll add it to the adding questions slide after we're done with this. I'll put a little note to say, make sure that you click finish whenever you are editing a video. Is that okay?
Yeah, that would be perfect, not only for me, but for anybody who is coming back and looking at it. It would be great. Thank you.
Sylvia,
Yes.
I have a question.
No
Checking the data, would you be able only to check the data on an individual student, or would you be able to check the data for the entire class?
So when I go here to, let me move this here. So here, when I click on, this is my whole class.
Okay.
It'll tell me who, how much they watched, what their grade was, when they watched it, and they turned it in. I had a lot of students that didn't do it. But here, for example, this one, this student watched the video 100%. This is his score. This is when he did it and whether he did it on time or not. If they did it late, it'll tell me it was late. So this is what I get for the whole class.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. You can also, it gives you options here. You can download the grades here. And I would click download, and it actually creates an Excel sheet for you. Okay, and it'll tell you, and it'll break it down, the student, the last name, first name, their user ID, what grade they got, how many they got correct, how much time they spent on it, and how much of the video they watched, and whether they did it on time. So let's say you want, you need to provide data, right? An actual sheet. It'll actually create an Excel worksheet for you where it has the data there for you as well.
Excuse me, Sylvia, does it also give you like aggregate information? Like if you showed an EdPuzzle video and you had some questions, like multiple choice questions in there embedded, does it give you an idea of like maybe 50% of the students got a particular question wrong so that you know what areas you may need to reteach? How can we see that for, like the class?
So when you click on questions, right, it will show you how many students out of how many students got it right.
Okay.
So only 11 out of the 27 got it right, but that's because a lot of them didn't do it. But it'll tell you exactly how many students got a question correct. So let's say, for example, only 8 students here got this question right. Then I'm like, well, I need to teach, you know, what the groups are, the legislative branches, how many groups are in the legislative branch. So right there, again, it provides you with, I need to do a mini lesson on this particular things of government because the students are still not understanding it. So that's how it breaks down each of the questions that you ask the students. Anything else?
I do have a question. Oh, I have a question about working in groups. Like say my department, like the algebra teachers, we want to all get together and make different videos and kind of pull our work together. Is there a nice way to kind of share, I guess, material with other teachers?
Let's see. So if they can share the video, so you can create a video and share the assignment. Like you can share the assignment by copying the link and you can email it to your colleague. So let's say you created an assignment or video with questions and you want to share it, you can actually click here. I'll go back to show you where I went. So I go here where it says on the right, share assignment, and then I would copy the link and you should be able to share the actual assignment with a teacher. I haven't tried it because what I used to, like I'm a support teacher kind of to the ELA. So what we did, we would do it together. So we actually were on the same Google Classroom and we would post the assignments into the same Google Classroom. So we both had access to the material. So you can, like this, you can also go here to content to see different things, your content, right? So this is things that I have. If I have here, I can assign the, you know, the video, edit the video, duplicate the video, delete the video. It's, that's some of the things that you can do.
Can I search the name of a teacher? Say I wanted to find all of your videos. Maybe that's the way to do it. I don't know. Could I search for you?
I don't know. I've never tried that. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I would have to look.
I'm sorry, what was the question again?
If you can search for other teachers' videos, like if you search for teachers' videos that were created by name, like if, let's say, if a teacher wanted to search for videos that I created, if they would be able to search for my videos. I'm not sure. I would have to look into it. So like here, I have South Street because I am part of South Street. I can look for videos from any teacher at South Street. So
Okay, I think that's what the type of thing I'm looking for. Okay.
so let's see. Like, I wonder. So this teacher here, I can actually see her videos. But I think you can only search within your school and not outside of your school. You understand what I'm saying? So I can, yes.
Sylvia, when I went in and I put your name in,
Mhm.
under the extension. What came up wasn't so much your name. What came up were different Sylvias, like Sylvia Mendez, and it had a bunch of different people or teachers named Sylvia. And then on the bottom, it just had, again, more Mendez presentations that came up when I was here on EdPuzzle. And that's what came up on EdPuzzle, you know, concerning a search
Right.
on there. So unless there's something else, you know, you can show us.
No, I mean, I really don't know of anything different other than I know I can search for videos that other teachers in my building have used because I'm connected to the teachers at South Street School. So I can search for videos that any of the teachers have used within my building.
Does that include the SCREENCASTIFY videos?
No. SCREENCASTIFY, the actual teacher would have to share it with you.
But isn't it on Google?
Yeah, but nobody can access your Google Drive other than you.
Oh, okay, thanks.
No problem.
Sylvia, I'm thinking about communicating with parents. Is there a way to collect information on one student from all of their activities into one?
So I only did one video, but I'm pretty sure that you would be able to do that. So let's say you would go to the individual student here, right? And then I'm wondering if it allows you to print. It doesn't allow you to print a report.
There's a gradebook option at the top. I wonder if that.
It
I mean,
doesn't.
you only have one assignment, but
Yeah, but it doesn't. It basically says adjust your date range to see past assignments. Let's see if I change the date, if it comes up to today. Save. Okay, and then this is what it shows me. And then it says export to gradebook, but it would, all it does is create an Excel.
Right, but that is everybody. So you're thinking print each child's results.
So let me see here.
Sylvia, how about if she does a print screen, that once she has that student up, just do a print screen on that student?
Yeah, so it doesn't, yeah, you could do a print screen, but it doesn't allow you to print. So I can do right click and then print the page.
Right.
So, and then that's how.
That's how she would get it, yeah.
That's how you could get it.
Yeah.
And then you'd have to do it for each assignment for that child.
Well, probably not. So if I had more, I wish if I had more assignments on here, it would probably allow me to see all of the assignments here, right? For that student. But because I only have one I only used it once to really try it out with the students because it was kind of overwhelming and the students were overwhelmed, and I really wanted to try to get them to do some work. And sometimes it was very difficult to even get them to do certain assignments. So I wanted to try out different things to see which platform students responded better to. So I did use it once. I'd like to use it a lot more come September, but like I said, I'm going to have the page open. So the Google Classroom page open. So if there's things that I come across that I learn or that I, get to become more familiar with, I will post it on there. So I would still stay on the Google Classroom so that you can get notifications of anything that I ever post along the way for the school year. So as we keep going through the school year, we'll, add more things to the Google Classroom, or I'll let you know of things that come along the way that I learn. So like that, we can work together and kind of figuring it out what works best for everyone.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. I wish I had a better answer, but like I said, that's one way. I don't know if we had more assignments, if all the assignments would actually be on here. But it's something that we can try, along the way. Once, I come across it, I will let you guys know.
Sylvia, I do have a question, but it's not an EdPuzzle question. It's a question that on our past assignments, see how you have your picture on the top and a round circle on the right, that little circle, your picture? I still wanted to know how to get our pictures on there.
So if you click on your picture, on the actual circle here, all you have to do is you actually click on the picture and it allows you to change it. Like there should be a little like camera there. It won't let me do it because I'm
See, when I click on mine, it says log out, my name, refer to space, resources. When I actually click on that round circle that says Y on it, where I could put a picture on there, and I don't know why. That's my school.
So if you're using your camera, there's a camera is not going to come on here, right?
My particular laptop doesn't have a camera. I'm using my personal laptop to, that has a camera, but I'm actually clicking onto my work laptop, and when I click on that, it just has on here, when I click on that circle, that round circle, am I supposed to right click on it or just click?
So let me see if when I go on here, it's not going to let me do it because I'm using my video camera. So once we get off, I'll look at it and then I'll email you the directions.
I would appreciate that, because a lot of times it's nice to have that on there, to have some type of little picture on there. I think that would be helpful.
Yeah. So you need to have a picture ready, either saved onto your hard drive or Google Drive, or then you can actually take the picture right there on the spot if you have a laptop with a camera.
Does it have to be an actual picture, or could it be a little like emoji that we could put, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have that ready. Okay. It's one little emoji that I use all the time that I could just stick on there. It's just pretty much needing to have the procedure of just getting it done.
So yeah, I can email you, Miss Gianni. You can use any picture from that you have saved. So if you have a picture from your Facebook account that you like, you can just save it onto your computer if it's already saved there. And then if it's not, then save it onto your computer and then you can just upload it onto there.
Thank you so much, Sylvia. I appreciate it, as always.
So if I add a picture on my iPad, will it automatically go to my work? Because I don't have any pictures on my work.
So you can email it to your work, or you can sign in from your personal computer. Let's say you're on your personal computer and you sign into your work account, then you can do it like that.
Okay, will you send those instructions also?
Sure. Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Are you familiar with VD YouTube?
What is it called?
VD
Mm-hmm.
YouTube?
No, I haven't heard of it. This is the first time. Bye, Tiffany. Have a nice day. I have, do you know, can you explain what it is?
I was gonna ask you to do that.
Oh, okay. I thought you knew what it was. Oh, I can look it up.
It's, some teachers at my school used to bypass, be able to have the students view YouTube videos.
Mm-hmm.
PS device, they used VD YouTube instead of SCREENCASTIFY.
Okay. But now it's like you don't even have to do that. If you have the Google Chrome extension for EdPuzzle, you can just put it onto EdPuzzle and share it through there and not even ask it. You don't have to ask any questions on EdPuzzle. Like you don't have to embed the questioning, but you have the option to do it. So that's another way. But I'll look into it and see what I think.
But I'm not able to get the extensions.
Okay. I mean, I'm hoping that we will all be able to get the extensions. So, but I will look into that and let you know.
Okay.
Okay. If no one has any other questions, you're free to go. I
have a question.
Sure.
Okay, so is it better to use EdPuzzle to show full YouTube, let's say, short performances, rather than just inserting those videos into your Google Slides? I would want to be able to show, say, a couple of examples of somebody doing two people doing two different performances, short, performances. And I'm wondering, and I would like the students to be able to see the full performance, which may be, a couple of minutes for each one.
Right.
Is it better to use EdPuzzle for that rather than what I had done previously is that I had inserted the performance into Google Slides, but then you can see the actual, I think you showed us that on the other day, where you actually see the item on the Google Slides. It seems like if you use EdPuzzle, you can just have the performance there. It's there. You can stop it and start it whenever you like, and you can use it. Which is better?
It depends on what you're trying to get across. Like if you want to, let's say, ask the students specific questions throughout the performance because you want to know whether they understand it, then I would use EdPuzzle.
Okay, all right.
You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't know, like as far as YouTube, sometimes there are YouTube videos that the students are able to see, and I would just embed it into your Google Slides, right? If you are, let's say you put a presentation together and you are sharing the screen and you're going over the lesson with the students and you're having a conversation, I would just embed them into my slides. But if you are sending it to the students and they're watching it individually with you being there, I think it's nice to have the EdPuzzle extension because then you can stop the video and ask students questions throughout.
Okay, all right, thank you.
You understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, like it's really about how, what you want to get from the video.
Okay, and it seems like if I'm using EdPuzzle, that's going to allow me to have the students be able to watch the two performances and then do a comparison and contrast.
Right. So so you can do like tell the students, I want you to watch these EdPuzzle videos, right? You can ask questions throughout and then give them a Google form with an exit ticket saying compare and contrast the two videos you just watched.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Does that make sense?
Yes,
so
it does.
That's what I would do if I'm like sending something to the students and I'm not actually giving them the instruction. I think it's a nice way to really know whether the students got it, right? And probably ask them a few questions along the way as they're watching the video.
Right.
And then once they do that, you can attach a Google form to the actual assignment as well. and then say in the instructions, after completing the 2 EdPuzzle videos, complete the Google form where you will compare and contrast or compare both of the videos.
Okay.
Just ask them a short, open-ended question.
All right, great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else?
Sylvia, when you sent that to me, this is you were supposed to let me know about that wallpaper. It says distance learning. I love that wallpaper on the top. That
I actually
banner.
sent you an email. Did you see it?
I started seeing it, but I wanted to get online where about deleting slides that you had on there. I wanted to edit some of those, and I didn't get a chance to look at it because I wanted to get on the call.
Yeah, so look at the video. I actually created a video to let you know on how to do that. And I really went into detail. Let me know after you watch it if you still have questions. And then if you still, need additional support, just reach out to me. But I did actually email you.
All right. Thank you so much, Sylvia. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Yes. Did you answer how we could get to the EdPuzzle? Is it through resources for teachers, or is it through Clever, or where can we find it?
You would go to Clever. So I can show it, but I can go back and show it again. So when you're here on the NPS website, you go to Student Portal.
Okay. And Clever. We'll scroll down or up or whatever. Okay.
And then
there it is.
You would click here on EdPuzzle.
Okay.
And
Thank
then
you.
So if you've never used EdPuzzle, it's going to ask you to set up your account. And I recommend signing in with Google and using your NPS, because then it'll link everything together.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Anybody else? I can include that. I mean, if there are other teachers on here, I did create a video on how to delete stuff from a slide. If you would like me to add it to the Google Classroom, I can add it to the Google Classroom if it's easier for everybody. I did, because Yolanda asked me how she could delete certain content from slides, and I created a really short video on how to do that. If you would like, I can just add it to the Google Classroom.
Is that the wallpaper thing that you're going to add also?
That is like, she was asking me about, that's, if you want, I can add it to the Google Classroom instead of emailing people individually, if that would be easier, then like that everybody gets all of the information. So what I'll do, I don't want to exclude anybody. I'll just put everything onto the Google Classroom.
I think that would be fantastic. This way everybody can look at it at their leisure too.
Absolutely. I'm here to support you guys. So I'll post a video once we get off as how to delete items off of a slide. And I actually go into like, there are certain things that you won't be able to delete on. So watch the video. If you have any questions about it, then just let me know. But other than that, that's all I have for today. Tomorrow will be a fun, exciting day. We're going to learn how to create our digital classrooms and our digital Google Classroom headers and themes. So that's going to be exciting and fun day tomorrow. So something a little, different. And it's kind of very addicting when you start your own digital classroom, and when you start playing with it, you really you can spend hours on there trying to add and change certain things. So it's gonna be nice to do something a little bit fun. So that's about it. That's all I have for today. If anyone has any other questions, I'll stay on. But if not, I'll see everyone tomorrow.
I have a question, Sylvie.
Yes.
Hello. This is Miss Garcia, teacher aide.
Miss Garcia.
Hi. I've been listening into your workshops this week, but my question is, as for a teacher aide, like for Clever, we can't even get in there. So this is more for the teachers, right? With their students and stuff like that?
But you can't get onto Clever?
No. Because I had a question once from a parent. I mean, but this is like moving forward for the future, if I have to help the teacher
Right.
in any way that I can, what I'm allowed to, because I know, you know, the teacher is the instructional,
Right.
she's the instructional teacher. So for the future, are the teacher aides allowed to go on to Clever? Because I didn't have access to that when I went on the Newark Public Schools page.
So when you go onto the Newark Public Schools page, you are not able to access any of those materials, right? That's what you're saying.
It pops up that window where you have to log in with your NPS, and I tried that and I couldn't get in. I said, maybe it's because we're not allowed to, it's just for the teachers, maybe, I don't know.
No, you should. Okay, so I'll ask, like, I don't know what access they give to the aides, but I will reach out and see what I can find out as far as the aides goes, and in terms of being able to access any of the portals, if it's only for teachers, right?
Right.
When you put in your username, when it asks you, you should put like whatever credentials you use to log into you know, your computer, that would be the same credentials you would use to log into there. Is that what you put?
I put, yeah, using the work email.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you
that's
wouldn't
what I've
have to
been
put the
using.
actual whole email. So like, for example, for me, I would just put S Pereira, and then I would put my, you know, like my password.
Right.
So I wouldn't put the whole actual email.
So Mrs. Garcia, were you able to do some of the Otis?
Yes, Otis, yes, I
PD?
was able to go in. Otis, yes.
So I would think if you were able to do Otis, you should also do Clever. Were you going in as a staff member?
Well, I went in with my work email, because that's what it always asks you, like, you know, M. Garcia, the MPS, like that.
Yeah, but it depends on